Hello, I'm Eunezia Sitoe, a PhD student at the University of Johannesburg under the supervision of Professor Ben-Eric van Wyk. The title of my presentation is an inventory and analysis of the medicinal plants of Mozambique. Mozambique and South Africa are African countries that share a border at the southern parts of Mozambique and eastern parts of South Africa. Mozambique is endowed with various medicinal plants. Approximately 60% of the population in Mozambique relies on traditional medicine to treat and manage simple to complex diseases. Several ethnobotanical surveys to study the medicinal flora of Mozambique have been conducted in various parts of the country, the most prominent surveys being that of Amico and Pavazano, and Janssen and Mendes. There are other 22 known sources that reported on the medicinal plants of Mozambique. This study aimed to record all medicinal plants reported in Mozambique in literature and answered three main questions. Firstly, how many medicinal plant species have been recorded for Mozambique? Of those, how many are indigenous to Mozambique? And how many are introduced or cultivated exotics? Secondly, what percentage of medicinal plant species are shared with South Africa? And lastly, what are the similarities and differences between the medicinal floras of Mozambique and South Africa? And is there evidence of cultural exchange? A literature survey was done to compile the medicinal checklist of Mozambique using 28 available literature sources, which were found from published books, journal articles, reports, and unpublished theses and dissertations. Some sources were obtained from the internet, such as Google and Google Scholar. There are 722 medicinal species recorded for Mozambique, of which 23 were infraspecific taxa. For this paper, 3,407 medicinal species were recorded for South Africa, of which 248 were infraspecific taxa. Of the recorded medicinal taxa in Mozambique, 536, which is 74%, were found to be occurring in the total available flora of South Africa. As shown in Figure 1, 482, which is 67%, of the taxa are used medicinally both in Mozambique and South Africa, thus showing a considerable overlap between the medicinal flora of Mozambique and that of South Africa. Moreover, the foremost taxon-rich medicinal families in Mozambique and South Africa are the same, however the rankings are different. These are the Fabaceae, Asteraceae, Apocynaceae, and Malvaceae as shown in Figure 3. Furthermore, Figure 1 and 2 indicates that the most abundant families also have the highest number of indigenous taxa and shared medicinal taxa between Mozambique and South Africa. It can be observed from Figure 1 that because South Africa has more medicinal taxa recorded, it has more exotics, cultivated exotics, and indigenous taxa as compared to Mozambique. Interestingly, of the 90 cultivated exotic taxa in Mozambique, 10 shared medicinally are indigenous to South Africa and 7 were introduced in South Africa. This could suggest that some medicinal plants were introduced to the flora of Mozambique, most likely by medicinal plant traders. Research shows that some of the plant material traded in the Maputo plant trade markets were from South Africa. Furthermore, some of the buyers or sellers came from South Africa. For example, Hydnora apocynica, also shown in Table 1, was first reported in Maputo in the plant trade markets by Williams in 2011. The occurrence of this plant in Mozambique was not due to chance. According to Williams, the primary source of the rhizome for medicinal plant traders was in Umhlabuyalingana in the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, and this region is adjacent to the southernmost district of Mututine in Mozambique. Thus, it was likely for the plant to occur there. The high percentage of shared medicinal plant species in Mozambique and South Africa could be due to exchanging information among several cultural groups, including medicinal plant traders and traditional healers across the two countries' borders. Mozambique was noted as a vital supply country, mainly since the Maputo province is located close to the border of South Africa. About 85% of the imported medicinal plants sold in the multi-market found in Kruger National Park in Mpumalanga were from Mozambique. In conclusion, Mozambique's medicinal species and infraspecific taxa checklist presented in this research is comprehensive. The high percentage of shared medicinal plant species and infraspecific taxa between Mozambique and South Africa could suggest an exchange of traditional knowledge between the two countries' borders. Compared to South Africa, the number of medicinal plant species recorded in Mozambique is relatively low. However, more surveys could lead to more medicinal plant species and infraspecific taxa discovered for Mozambique. I thank you all.